to stand before the Lord and say, we have done these things.
Okay.
You know, and it speaks about them doing, you know, casting out devils and what have you. You know, I find it funny. I read this in my notes. Let me find. You know, in the church we can speak about these miracles, amen. We can speak about miraculous things and the wonderful good things of God, amen. We can talk about the supernatural powers where there can be a limb that is completely amputated at the shoulder, and then that the Lord could bring forth a whole entire arm in its place. But when it gets to the more spooky things, amen, when it talks about the devils, when it talks about the demons, you know, the church tends to shy away. I know it says in Ephesians, neither give place to the devil. In another one it says, you know, that in another interpretation or version of the Bible it says, give him no foothold. Amen? You know, that means don't allow him to stand. In other words, it says to knock him down. Amen. I love the one part in Psalms. Psalm 68:1, it says to the chief musician, a song of David, it says, let the Lord arise and let his enemies scatter.
Yes, amen.
Amen. To them also that hate him, flee before him.
Yes.
You know, the reason why I bring this up is because these men, they were powerful men of God, supposedly, because they were able to cast out these devils. And me and Tim got into the discussion, you know, were they able to truly cast these devils out? You know, because in one part of the scripture it says devils don't cast out devils. Let me see, it says in Matthew 12:26, and if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then his kingdom shall stand? Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, I'd like to share with you a story. Amen. That there are these things, that there are these demonic things, that there are these evil suppressive spirits. And it just so happens that we as Christians, we encounter them. Amen. Whether we know it or not. Now, I'm going to give you an example today. I play cards every morning with this guy. I'll spare you his name in case he comes to know the Lord. But every single morning I come into the team cube after I get my coveralls on and my tools together. And I sit down about 6 o'clock. He comes in about 6:10 and we sit there and we play rummy or crazy eights for 20 minutes. And us, we're men, we're crazy. We have these little things, rituals where we call people, nicknames and what have you. And my nickname at work is Chicken Wing.
Chicken
This guy is Chazzle Dazzle. And I don't know how it came to be. I don't know how this happened, but somehow, some way down the line in the 2 years that I've worked with him, every time he sees me, he says, Chicken Wing. And I say, Chazzle Dazzle. It's just something silly that we do. And we were inside what is now going to be the environmental room at work. It's currently under construction. It's a project that we're working on. And I was in there, and he just said that while he was working, and I just wanted to be exaggerating and, make the people around me feel uncomfortable, just to, lighten up the mood a little bit, because everybody's, got their face to the grindstone and just working. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chazzle Dazzle. He has the best Chazzle to Dazzle ratio that you've ever seen in your whole entire God-given life. I'm just saying that to be funny, lighten up the mood. But I got news for you. When I said that, now this man that I see every single day, 5 days a week, about 20 minutes a day, we play and we have interaction and conversation over cards. A spirit rose up in him. And then I really don't pray for the discernment of spirits and what have you. It's just sometimes these things happen. We see it, even the non-believers could see these things, amen? Because we're all sensitive to the spiritual things. I believe that because it says in the Bible that every man is given a measure of faith, amen? To have that knowing and that desire for something more, to know that there's something more than themselves, there's something supernatural, that there is a God, amen? That's why me and Tim, we don't believe in atheists, because the Bible says everybody has that measure of faith. Anyways, but as soon as I said, the best ratio that you ever seen in your whole entire God-given life, his demeanor changed.
Wow. I like that.
Wow.
He looked at me and said, God didn't give me this life, evolution did.
Oh.
It just came up out of nowhere, like he felt like I was attacking him. I'll say his name, he has nothing to do with it. Poor Jerome was in the room listening to us. He just looked back and just waited to hear what I had to say.
What did you say?
Well, I told him. you know what, you could believe what you want. And I just mentioned, I said, have you ever read the Bible? I said, oh, and then he was just quiet. He was cleaning out a mud tray. You know, for those of you who don't know, it's for plaster. And I said, you know, it says in our Genesis 1:1, God created the heavens and the earth. And it speaks in the second verse about how it was void. And I explained to him that that term void doesn't mean that it was completely lifeless. It just meant it was of no effect. Amen. These are just other things. I'm not going to dive into that too deeply. You know, it's just that there may or may not have been life before us. Amen. And that's another topic for another day. It has nothing to do with the intimacies of your salvation. Amen. That's just food. That's just, you know, something that you could dive into in order, you know, just to entertain yourself. The Bible is not boring, and there's many things to learn from it. Anyways, and I said that to him. It's like his demeanor was still like of the devil, man. Like there was a spirit about him. This is today. This is, and he said, the Big Bang, the Big Bang. And he went to walk out. I said, I believe in that. I believe God spoke it, and bang, here it is. Jerome just smiled and threw it back and kept pulling wire, man. And like after that, you know, he was back to normal, you know, Chazzle Dazzle and chicken wing. But for that instant, when I presented him with God in the midst of somebody else, that spirit rose up in him, and he had to try to, you know, test the waters, man. There are people out there that are suppressed with these spirits, or that might not be suppressed, but they have them about them. You know? It's theology, you know, it could influence them, and it does. You know, and there's different stages from, you know, oppression versus possession and all that other stuff. But that's another topic for another day. The point of the matter is that these things do exist. Right. Amen. And I was going in, what I wanted to point out is that these men, again, were elect. These men, it says that they were doing great things, and this is miracles. And that these casting out of devils was a miracle. It speaks of that in Mark 9, verse 38. It says, I find this one funny, because I'll just read it to you. It says, "Teacher," said John, "we saw someone driving out demons in your name, and we told him to stop, because he was not one of us." Amen? They tried to stop this man from being delivered because he wasn't one of the disciples. But Jesus said, he said, do not stop him. Jesus said, "For no one does a miracle in the name, or in my name, can in the next moment say anything bad about me. For whoever is not against us is for us." In that passage, it speaks that the being able to deliver these people from demons was indeed a miracle. And again, this proposes the question, where did they really do that? You know, me and Tim, we brought up, you know, the Catholic Church, how they still do exorcisms. Amen?
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Just a thought that just came to me.
Absolutely.
A lot of people will say, well, you know, Jesus didn't argue the fact that they said that they did all these things in his name. But he did. He says, "Depart from me, I never knew you."
Absolutely. We're getting to that.
Just jumping in on your message.
Absolutely. We're getting to that. We're getting to that. Amen. You know, so it says that these people were able to cast out these devils. There's another part in the Bible where it speaks of these devils, they only come out by fasting and prayer. What's that tell you about these people? That these people were indeed, they were fasting, they were praying, and they were able to do these great things. They were able to do miracles and works. But what does Jesus say? You know, it says, "Many will say unto me that day, Lord, Lord, we have not prophesied in thy, or have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity." Going back to whether they did or didn't, these men stood before God in their death, and they told him, "We did these things." Now these people, they had to have 100% assurance. Who here is going to stand before God and directly lie to him, knowing that he knows all things? These people 100% believed that they were able to do these in their eyes. Amen. Jesus said, you know, "I never knew you." Now, what I believe is, since they were, I do believe that they were fasting when they were praying, they were doing all these things. But I believe when they were fasting, when they were praying, the reasoning behind it was suspect, that I call into question. The Bible says the Lord will give you the desires of your heart. That's Psalms 37:4. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and He shall give thee the desire